Hi everyone, we're going to talk about profit taking, so just strap in. Hope you're well, hope you're good, welcome to the channel if you're new. Apologies, there may be some swear words, because this is probably the most passionate subject in the world of crypto. Taking profit, right? That little green thing that we now know as money is useful in your pocket, right? And I'm going to start off by saying it. If you don't have fuel or ammo or however you want to describe it as, you will not grow further. Right. So, in a bull market, when you're going up the stairs, right, you often find you're only growing one way, usually, unless you're staking some high yield returns on something shit, right? However, there's always a moment when this happens. I call it up the stairs, out the window, right? Where basically you go, wee, boom. All of a sudden, the market will absolutely do a massive turd on you. And yeah, you got problems. You're like, oh my God, what do I do? So we're going to prevent some of these. Now, in a bear trend, you accumulate units. You buy lower than when, through profit. So essentially, if you're looking at this scenario here, you're taking profit at some point in the upwards side of it or wherever that may be, maybe not the top, maybe here, for example. You've probably thought, wait, 10x. I'm out. Laters. I'm going to take 50% off the table. Whatever happens, I don't care. If that situation does arise, guess what you're going to do? Well, if you read reserve rights, for example, which I mentioned today in my other video, you might buy more. And what better thing to do is buy with free money. It's great. So that's a principle. I'm going to explain how to do it now. Right, strap in. There's a few different strategies you can do, right? First one, rule number one. You need to pick what do you want to take profit in. Okay, if you go into Binance, if you go into Qcoin, if you go into any exchange like that with a spot trading facility, you can basically go BTC, Ethereum, USDT, USDC, and some other shite. Maybe BNB as well, right? So you can do that. Now, if you want to find out where's the best to get your more bang for your buck, you use the dominance charts. If the dominance charts are going down, usually you get more bang for your buck because it's growing in that pair. Other way around, not so good, right? You need to be careful. But if you're just doing it in stable currency, even better because you can put your stable currency, you can lock it up, and guess what you can do with it? You can grow it. So another thing you can do, and I've mentioned this quite a lot now, you may be getting the picture. If you've got profit and you're sitting on it waiting for said prices to happen or some new projects, or if you're just happy to sit on it and earn passive income, BlockFi is one place you can do it. Put your money in, let it grow, right? It will grow in an interest return basis every single day and you get paid monthly. Now the plus point with BlockFi, and I've mentioned this before in terms of tactics you can do this with, if you're looking to grow via the dominance chart and look to use BTC to then put your money back into the market, you can actually earn Bitcoin via stable currencies. So with this, 4% standard rate on BTC, however, stable currency is about 7.5 to 8%. Why not just get 8% of your stable currencies, get paid in BTC, happy days, you get double the amount, and it's also safer in that way as well, because sometimes you might want to keep that Bitcoin in your own wallet as well, just in case you happen to lose your account, okay? That could mean you being stupid with your money, because I know people like to forget where people put things. I've seen people DM me, telling me, I bought some coins, but I don't know where I put it. How do I find them? Well, that is on your own case. But if you have your own personal wallet, obviously you can look after it. However, these are secured by Gemini. Funds are secure, which is good. However, your own negligence may well make you lose it because people are silly. But check out the link below. You will get some free coins if you do so. Now, where was I? I was talking about taking profit, right? So, see what you want to take profit in. Decide that before you start thinking, right? There's an array of different things you can use, right? The first one, I'm going to do this in step by step, silly little situations here, is step number one. It's the most obvious one. Have you guessed it yet? When I am making too much. So, why is this important? Psychologically, you've probably been watching Bitcoin videos on YouTube and cryptocurrency videos, and you've been watching the stock to flow ratio, you've been watching, I don't know, permabull videos, right? And they're telling you that, oh, well, Polkadot might go to like $3,000. Ethereum might go to $75,000. Bitcoin might go to $1 million. And you'd be like, oh, get in, it's going there. However, the one thing you've forgotten to realise is it doesn't just go in one straight line. It isn't a rocket mission to the moon. It will pull back. It will be like my situation before, up the stairs, out the window sort of situation. It will pull back. Looking at the chart here, look at this. We were on an absolute awesome stairway to the moon, right? Hit $12 and we died. We went all the way back down to 1.6 cents. I don't know if I said $12 there. I mean 12 cents, by the way, give or take. You know that. You know what I mean. Anyways, moving on. So that is a huge drop. When you think about it, volatility in this market is crazy, and this is where the importance comes in. That came down 86%. If you put $1,000 in that, you've literally lost 860. And I know people who would happily sell that bottom because they shit themselves royally. LJ, I'm talking to you in my Learning Crypto. Now, moving on. This is where it gets interesting. When you're psychologically kind of conflicted, let's just say, for example, you bought in October time. Let's just say you bought when I did. That's roughly where I bought, around here, when it was freaking low. It was ridiculous in the USD pair. I was like, yep, I'm in. Give me some of this. And I did. I bought quite a good chunk, and I'm quite happy I did so. Bought even more recently as well, which is even better, because I rate it a lot. Now, if you're looking at these levels, right, give or take around where that EMA is, right, and you're looking at this top level, that is a 10x gain. 10x, over 10x. If you're looking at that thinking, I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to leave it. It's fine. It's okay. You're probably going to regret it. Even if you're taking out 10%, 20%, and even if you're securing a little bit of that bag, or even taking your original investment out, it makes you feel a lot better at night because you cannot lose any more money unless you buy even more. Now, this is another thing I need to talk about as well. I might forget. I don't know. We'll see. I probably will forget. Don't dollar cost average up. I'm sick of people buying down here and then freaking buying the top thinking it's going to go to $1 and make even more money, when realistically you're just going to move your dollar cost average right the way up, which is a bad thing. Now, number two, the siren's going off. That's going to be a pain. People shouting, ruining my video already. Now, let's talk about it. The next one. We're going to use one indicator for this, an EMA. Now, I use the EMA 21, right? EMA 21. If you've got TradingView, you can use this very, very easy. All you do, you go to indicators, then you put in EMA, and then moving average exponential, boom, and then you put the length as 21. Now, go on to the 3-day chart is usually a good place to be. My mouse is broken. What is going on here, man? Absolute calamity. If you're looking at the 3-day chart, just to make it a little bit easier, you can kind of see an element of what it's doing. 3-day chart is probably a bit too deep, but I just wanted to use it for demonstration purposes. You buy when it's above and you sell when it closes below. That is a great way of doing it. However, as I say, that 3-day is too far. Go down to the 2-day chart. You can see it in a bit more clear detail, but there's another strategy that we can look at in a minute, which is even better. However, for a beginner, it's really good. Now, how does it work? The best case scenario, in my opinion, is look at the trend structure. Now, this is where some coins it's all right, some coins it's not. For example, with RSR, it's not the greatest because it goes below the EMA quite a lot. Because it's a lower cap coin, it's got high supply. It's a bit wishy-washy in terms of volume metrics, right? However, if you're looking at the 2-day chart, for example, it's a bit better. Now, the rule of thumb could be if you're buying down here and you are not looking to take profit, i.e., if you see a structure change where, like for example here, where it absolutely blew off, right? Blew off, and it formed a real big horrible low. When you look in the past here, when it goes below, it's still in an uptrend. You can see here, high, 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 keeps going high, high, and then woo, hello, bit too high. We dropped a low, and this is where it gets interesting. The EMA can be the catalyst for you going, right, when we close around the EMA below it and it's rejected, I'm out. And that is how you do it. Same with, like, I don't know, let's look at Zilliqa, for example. There you go, another example. So again, trend is forming up, following the EMA. Ignore this, because you want to see what the retracement does. And then you're going to see it go up to this point. Basically, double top, give or take. And then when it comes down here, you can see structure is starting to break. Not ideal. Not ideal at all. And at about this point, you could probably start looking at closing, because structure-wise, it's kind of broken below the lows. Therefore, it's going to be a bit harder to get through. So that is the EMA. You can use different ones, obviously, but it's entirely up to you. Different time frames as well. Find a style that suits you. Now, the next one, I kind of just mentioned it, right? The next one is the obvious one. If you're probably just thinking, trend structure. Now, this is where I started putting bearish tweets out. Now, I know people hated it. I was like, oh, God, you're so bearish. But realistically, if you were listening to what I was saying, you might be in a whole world of fruity, lovely, juicy profit structure. So, as I said before, high, 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 top, right? This was a catalyst. When this broke here, it was a warning sign. I was doing videos mid-May and around this point telling us, be freaking careful, take profit. And I was doing loads of things in terms of, I did a video about how to do the altcoin season right. Don't buy when it's at this level, do it at this level, all kinds of stuff. I was explaining situations. I ran a Zoom on learning crypto literally after the time of this drop, give or take around this point when everything was getting a bit ugly, and it really helped people. And the reason why the identification was because of this. We have made one of the biggest, obvious, most prominent lower highs ever. That is it. That is, I should be getting out right now, screaming, get out. And that's what I did. I got out around $51,000, give or take, around that point anyways. In the blitz of the panic, thinking, oh my God, is this the end? Maybe, who knows? We've obviously had a big, massive bearish run. But even still, that when you look at the chart and you look at every single chart on the daily time frame, you see a massive drop off, and then you see an obvious kind of retest of an area. These are kind of the areas where you should be looking to take profit at least. However, the most obvious one is obviously take a profit at the top, but no one gets a profit at the top, sorry. But what I'm saying is, even if you're watching this go all the way up and up and up and you're making multiples, you should be getting out anyways. But the confirmation is always when things change. Now again, look at the likes of Zilliqa. Dump, pulled all the way back up. These levels here of interest could be a place for you to try and, keep some money on the table. There's loads of ways of doing it. And taking profit is one of the hardest things ever, because psychologically you're battered. Psychologically you're like, I want it just to go to $1, let it go up. But it doesn't, right? And you got to be careful. But if you are charting Bitcoin and following Bitcoin and exactly what it does right now, and I think it is going to carry on going up a little bit, this was shit, man. Get out. Get out. Don't just sell all your bags and just run away. What I'm saying is, take some money off the table. Now, if that means you putting money into stables and just going, right, I want to see what happens and let it blow over. Well, if you were right to do so, you had 3 months of just sitting on your ass with your thumb up it, thinking, well, what am I going to buy this week? Because that's kind of what's happened realistically. It's been pretty crazy. However, there's all kinds of different metrics to think about. Even when you're looking at other indicators and stuff like that, and that's just like a few of them here. The EMA 21, trend structure, if you're making far too much. But there's all kinds of different situations that will go on in your head. There's the amount of videos that you can put yourself through, whether it's through me, through other people, through trading courses, through investment courses, which I also run myself. I cannot teach you what to do in the situation because everyone's mind is different. Everyone's risk appetite is different, which is why people go, well, you're too bearish. Well, realistically, my risk appetite is totally different to yours. I'm already in a position in this altcoin. You might not be. Whereas risk appetite is huge. For me, overall, if you are looking at any investment asset in the world and you're looking at making money, right? And you're looking at it as an investor and you're not seeing the fact of making 5, 10, 15, 20x is a good thing, you really need to go back into the traditional markets and look to see what they make. I mentioned it before. in one of my tweets, Hero. I invested in Hero. I covered it on this channel saying, right, it's a pre-sale. I'm going to go in it because I've not been in one for a while. I like the idea of it in terms of the tokenomics. I think it's really, really solid. I put 5 BNB in there. It's now worth like 120 or something. Yes, I'm looking to take profit very, very soon, but it still feels undervalued. But that could bite me on the bum because I'm thinking it may go a little bit more. So I will be looking to take profit very, very soon. But it's the same situation. Everyone has that Achilles heel where they just wanted to keep going up. Psychologically, it is where it is a killer. And literally the biggest thing about profit taking is it's in the mind. And it really is. And there's one thing that you need to take away from this. Even if you're using trend structure, even if you're using EMAs, even if you're using just simple terminology or target points where you're thinking, right, if it does that, I'll do this. If it does that, I'll do that. But there's one thing that we always forget. No one goes broke taking profit. And it all comes down to the fact that if you've got the compound element of that, which is ammunition, fuel, all kinds of stuff that allows you to grow, well, you're going to be better off. If you've got one BTC and you put it into, say, I don't know, anything, right? Silica, VeChain, Matic, whatever, right? And that one BTC in like a year then is worth 3. And you take profit on that and you go, right, I've got extra now. I could split that up and go 1.5 BTC in my investment bag forever. I can just sit on that for a while, see what happens. And the next one you could be, right, I could put that into another altcoin and have even more. With good risk management, I could make even more. And that 1.5 could then become 5 or 10 or whatever it may be. Without taking profit, you will never have that opportunity. You'll always be going up and down in USD, and you won't know where you're coming or going. Compounding of profit is key. Get the ammo from profit, use the profit, put it into another project, put it into something that you've done solid research on. You are looking for it to grow. You bought at the right time, whether that's a dominance chart is high or whatever it may be, or if it's low and you're looking to go on the other side of it when Bitcoin goes rampant. There's all kinds of different methodologies and ways of doing it. But taking profit, there's multiple different indicators, but these are the ones that work. The first one is very, very important. When you think in your mind you're making far too much money. The next one is obviously the EMA 21. Now you can use in this one the total 2 charts, the total chart, and the dominance chart for this as well. I.e., if you go to like the total chart, for example, oh, for fuck's sake, you know, ignore that. When you start looking on the higher time frames on this, and now that one of my methodologies is when we're actually close below this, I won't buy as actively, and that is what I've pretty much done. I've not been buying actively when it's been dropping like hell. I wanted to kind of confirm that we're actually going back up again, which is what we're doing now, which is why I bought a little bit today. You want to buy, you don't want to keep buying the dip that keeps on dipping, because look at that. You will get into a whole world of pain if you're going down. Look at the trillion just dropping off the market. Again, total 2 chart, similar. What the fuck? Anyways, ignore that. So as you can see here, if you go to the log scale, you'll probably notice even more. There you go. So why buy? Obviously buy as low as you can, if you can, for that reason. But fundamental wise, if you're eyeing up a coin and it's hit a monthly level and you're not buying it with profit, you should be. That's what I've been doing, and it makes a big difference, especially moving forward. And yeah, structure. If you start seeing the obvious lower highs and stuff like that, and then you start seeing lower lows and stuff, don't buy in the lower lows. Keep waiting and see what happens. But if you see that first lower high, you should be looking to get out, because realistically, things get really, really messy. And the same here. We melted, we dumped back up. This is the level here, around 9 cents. We melted. Structure break. When you start seeing the failure in structure, and this is what happened here, we just rolled over massively. And you can probably see it on the lower time. There we go. That's it. So around here, huge level of resistance. Should look to take profit, in my opinion, especially if you were all the way down here. Anyways, I hope you enjoy.